Hey everybody, welcome back to this amazing channel. Today we have an incredible guest, Miss Chef Babette, 73 years old, long-term vegan. She's been vegan since 1990. She is an icon in so many areas, plant-based fitness, health. She's a speaker, so many things. This one is going to be such a good one. Let's hop into it. Hey, how's it going?
It's going amazing. Thank you so much for having me. And you traveled to me this time.
Yeah, this is awesome. Thanks for welcoming us in your new home.
I have to remember to put this up to my
Are you okay with
eat
this
on
one?
this. Man, could you guys find a big enough mic?
Right?
Okay.
So, talking about eating, do you think you look amazing. When I pulled up in here, I'm just like, you guys, it's not even the looks, your energy. You look so fit. You're running around the building. Like you're 73. I know other 73-year-olds, no diss to them, but they're not living like this. This is part of the reason I take such good care of myself at almost 42, because I want to be like this.
Good girl.
Right? So do you attribute your looks and your health, your energy, your vibe mostly to the food, or
it's the entire lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And obviously how I nourish myself is included in that, but it's also my attitude towards this beautiful experience called life. I feel so grateful. I understand the importance of practicing self-love and self-care. When I get up, and I know we're going to talk about the gym, but when I get up and go work out, nobody's going to do that for me but me. Nobody is going to get up and go take care of that gym stuff for me but me. And so, but I find it to be an incredible way to say thank you to the universe for this beautiful gift of life.
Wow.
I embrace it. I'm happy. So I don't prefer to eat death. And I know that some people don't quite understand when I say death. I've had people go back and forth at me like, well, when you pick an apple, it's dead. No, I'm not talking about you picking an apple and the apple dies. I am talking about the intelligence that created all of this, that gave every species on this planet a diet and the tools to eat said diet. When I pick an apple and eat it, I get nourishment from that apple because it is definitely the food that the human species is supposed to eat. Mm-hmm. Okay? I don't have to cook it. I don't have to do anything but pick it and eat it. And I have the gear to do that. Mm-hmm. So when I speak of life in food, I am talking about the energy, the nourishment you get from the food that you ingest. Mm-hmm. And that is the life that I speak of. And
you have felt a big difference, right? Eating the plant foods versus how you ate before?
I started my journey in 1990, and I was turning 40 years old. I met my husband, and man, I'm telling you, I had such a hard time digesting, the food that I ate. It just didn't agree with me because I didn't know how to eat it. Come on. I don't know if you're hip to food combining, but you eat more live food than you do cooked.
Yeah, I eat all live food now.
Okay, so if you're just on a live food, then you understand that even with live food, if you talk about certain fruits, there are categories of fruits. You got sweet fruit, you got acid fruit, you have subacid fruit, you have melons. There are certain fruits that should not be eaten together. Okay? I did not know how to eat, how to nourish myself. So I had massive issues with bloating, indigestion. And how many other species on this planet do you know that has to medicate themselves after they eat?
Right.
Come
exactly.
on. Really?
Right.
Tums?
Yeah.
Really?
Tums,
I got to take a Tums after I eat. Some people go to the doctor and they specifically give them meds to help digest their food.
Yeah, now that you say this, I don't think enough people talk about. I don't think we talk about that enough. That was the one thing that led me to raw. My digestion was a mess.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And if you don't know how to eat the food, especially when you're killing it, and the reason I talk about death in food is because once you offer heat to certain foods, you change the molecular structure of that food. It's not the same. And so that's where the life and the death in food comes in for me. You're getting life, baby. Every time you put something in your mouth, you're being so well nourished, and your body is like, yeah. Okay. Anyway.
And that's where I get the energy.
There you go.
Yeah, that's where I get the energy. That's why I do it. That's that's the main reason I do it, for the energy and how I feel. And now at 41, almost 42, one of the other main reasons is because I think, okay, I'm in my 40s now. In no time, I'm going to be in my 50s, then my 60s.
That's right.
And I really see that people, for the most case, who don't take care of themselves and they just eat the standard American, they're not thriving in their 60s.
No,
they're starting to get a lot of problems in their 60s and their 70s. I want to be like this.
Baby,
and
they're starting getting those problems in their 40s.
I have kids. We have kids, grandkids. We owe it to them.
You do.
And to us.
And to you.
To be around for them.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
You're and a lot of people will say, well, it's genetics, Chef, but it's genetics. So how do you compare it to people who were in your family at this age? Could you talk about that for a minute?
You know, my mother is gone. She died about 3 or so weeks before she was 93. But my mother had double knee replacement. She had breast cancer, breast removed. My mother had a stroke, lost the ability to speak. If my mother got in a bathtub, there's no way she could have gotten out of that bathtub. Absolutely no way. She had no strength anywhere. Period. Done. Over and out. My sister, she was a drug addict. So she didn't practice self-love, self-care at all. She's out of here. She was 5 years younger than myself. My brother was 10 years older than myself. He's gone.
No way.
No, it's me.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying when it comes to my family that I grew up with? I still have my daughter, my husband, but then when we take a look at his family, his side of the family, who's really doing what they need to be doing to properly care for this human body? That's all you got. You know, so no, genetics, my mother looked pretty good in her 90s, but her quality was shot.
Yeah, and you need the quality. And it makes you feel happier too, right? Like, don't you feel happier than if you were just...
There's nothing more important to me than my quality. Nothing. I'm sorry. I could live to be 100, and this is not a slam on anybody who has gotten hurt and cannot move anymore. But I don't want to do that to me and make it so that I have to live flat on my back for the rest of this human experience. I have work to do. I have something to share, and I want to be strong enough to share it. Because I think I do make a difference. I think I do offer a lot of inspiration to so many people. I've been on the planet for 73 years now, and I see how we go through this thing called life with our diabetics, our diabetes, our heart disease, everything, and we can be in our 40s going through that. And most of it is because of our choices and a lack of knowledge.
Yes. And how can we make better choices? What do you think people should do so they can be living like this? How should people eat?
You know, I think not, like when I talk about knowledge being power, I'm talking about when I met Rondo Davis, my husband, the first thing he did was gave me 2 books. I was, come on, I'm not a big reader, dude. Really?
Yeah,
you're
give
me a book?
Yeah.
Can we go on a date? I got to read now. So he gave me Fit for Life by Harvey and Marilyn Diamond. And that's how I learned about food combinations and why my digestive issues were the way that they were. And the mucusless diet healing system. Professor Arnold Ehret believed that no matter what name you give a disease, it's an overload of inflammation. You're inflamed. And that comes from the things that we put in our mouths, what we ingest. So for me, if you're going to make changes, educate yourself and believe that you really do need to make the changes and understand how to make the changes through knowledge, you know?
Yeah.
And then try changing. I stayed with it. That was back in 1990. It's 2024. I was about to turn 40 when I got that information. Now I am 73, still living the lifestyle.
See, that's amazing. So it's never too late, because some people would even think at 40, at my age gap, that it's too late.
What got me better? Knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know those choices, it can make such an impact on our body, and we can thrive like you if we're eating this way. But what about spiritually? Do you think there's a difference spiritually in us when we choose to eat standard American or animal product diet versus eating like a clean, mostly raw vegan, high raw vegan, plant-based diet?
You know, I think that spiritually you are where you are. However, I think that we're constantly elevating our level of consciousness. We should be. And through the power of knowledge, it will assist in you elevating that consciousness. Then all of a sudden, what you eat and how you came about getting that food will make a major difference to you. Because at that point, spiritually, you really, really, really appreciate the gift of life, all of life, not just your own, you know? And so, no, I will never revisit the slaughtering of another species to try to get nourishment for myself, when I've lived from 1990 to 2024 without that in my system.
Not at all, right?
Not at all.
That's amazing.
I have not eaten animal flesh since 1990. No, thank you. I don't care to. I can pick my food off of a tree. I am not, they always like to say about vegans are over the top, or we're no, I'm not that person, because I don't have to kill nothing to get mine. Wow.
You're so inspiring.
You know, it's true though. Do I? So who's really on something? The person that got to run it down, track it down, kill it, send it to somebody to chop it up, shoot it up with dyes.
It's messed up. All those hormones.
It's a whole bunch going on.
All those hormones.
When I can pick a apple and just bite it.
And that sounds way more peaceful.
Wow.
Way better energy, right? The energy that goes into the animals.
Yeah. How about that energy? How about all of that energy that's in the body fluids of that animal? How about all of that energy, as that energy knew it was about, that animal knew it was about to be slaughtered, and it's frightened. What do you think it's releasing? And then you eat of its flesh and of its body fluids. And don't start talking about that food in boxes and cans.
That's maybe even
bags.
worse. It's all bad, but the processed food, and it's just everywhere you look now. And I see at my daughter's school, everywhere it's out of control.
And we have to be careful as vegans. I don't want people to think that I'm not also slamming on vegan processed food. When we get stupid with processing food, I believe in transitioning. I really believe in transitioning. But I also believe in growing up. Become an adult when it comes to making decisions.
Right?
That take care of the whole. You included in the whole. Wow. Really? And so you're so concerned about your palate? I'm sorry. Okay, let me calm down. I don't like that. It don't taste good. No.
Well, no, it's like I just interviewed somebody too, and he was talking about with the animal products, like you literally have like the chicken DNA in your body, like the DNA, right? It's weird. That really puts it in perspective. And if we can thrive without it, like you, all these years, then it's a better choice. This to me is a better life than the people I see that are, pounding down the standard American diet, the animal foods, the processed foods. Like, come on.
And we're not, this is a not to bad mouth or bash any human. It's not.
Yeah.
But our planet, our decisions, every decision we make as humans affects the whole. Every decision.
Every decision.
We're not here by ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we are nourishing ourselves or attempting to nourish ourselves is causing a massive problem to the planet that we call home. I don't know of any other place to live. I've never lived anywhere else in this human form but the planet Earth. Mm-hmm. And I know that right now I can pay attention to the weather systems, everything that's going on our planet. We're challenged, and a lot of it has to do with our choices in food. So we're not trying to badmouth anybody or make anybody feel, I ate meat. I'm going to tell y'all the honest to God truth. I did not stop eating chicken because I did not like it. Mm-hmm. When I was eating it, I loved it. Mm-hmm. You couldn't pay me now to eat a piece of chicken.
Does it repulse you now? Or do you still smell it? And you're like, it smells good?
No,
or no?
The smell, that goes away. Mm-hmm. That is the honest to God truth. Mm-hmm. Once you stop eating meat for a period of time, all of a sudden it don't smell right no more. It's funny smelling. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I have that.
Yeah.
I did get that. But I didn't stop eating it because I didn't like it. As a matter of fact, when I initially transitioned, I can remember pulling into a Popeye's chicken fast food place to order what I always ordered: the biscuit, the gravy, and the mashed potatoes, and wings. I used to like.
Yeah.
And I got to the window and something said, "You don't eat this anymore," and I had to drive out. I would never do that now. Mm-hmm. That was back in 1990. This is 2024.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you take B12? I can't remember.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
I know. The only thing that I'm on right now, I do.
You do sea moss gel and stuff. See that? I
do the sea moss.
Aren't we made up of how many minerals or something? Yeah. And they say sea moss gel has like 92 of them.
Of them.
Yeah, we're made. I forget the exact stats, but
I'm on the sea moss and Orlo, which is the omega 3.
Yeah.
The vegan omega 3.
That's important too.
I'm taking those every single day.
Cool.
Now, with the company that I hooked up with the sea moss, my girl Khadijah, she makes the bitters, and so I do shots of bitters in the morning, and whenever I'm going to do a detox, that's pretty much what I'll do. She gets a bunch of herbs and stuff, and
and if someone's watching and they're like, well, like, give us a mini sample of a meal plan, or like, what's a day ideal for eating? How do you think you'd like, if you could change the world and control how people are eating, or you could advise somebody who's watching right now and they're not eating healthy, how should I start eating, or what should I start eating?
I'd first learn how to ingest fruit. Fruit is an awesome food to eat after a night's sleep on an empty stomach. Fruit is wonderful on an empty, but there are combinations that you should not eat. So I'd learn how to eat fruit. Another thing that I start my days with is juicing. I'm all over, but I got a vegan restaurant, a big industrial juicer. I have the rubies in the restaurant because I need something big.
Yeah.
So I have access to this. I love chlorophyll drinks. I drink a lot of green drinks, a lot of kale, a lot of cilantro. I was telling you about the cilantro drink. So I just think that first, have an understanding of where you're going to get the nutrients, what you desire, and learn how and when is the best time for you to eat those things. I like doing fruit and juices on an empty stomach. That's my groove.
Me too.
I don't eat big, massive plates of food. I can't even eat my soul food platter as stuff I eat anymore. It's too much food.
Yeah.
It's gluttonous.
Yeah.
But it's a good transitional food that I make with my hands. So I'm not feeding you out of boxes. But I am feeding you a diet that will assist you in transitioning to something better. And the way that you are eating, my dear, 100% live food, that I'm all over that. There's absolutely nothing that you could say to me that would make me think that is not the specific way that humans should be nourishing themselves.
So in your opinion, that's the ideal.
That is the ideal diet.
And I just know for me, that's how I feel.
It's the
my
ideal
best,
diet.
like my highest self, my best self. And you feel that too if you're all raw?
Oh yeah. When I'm and that's why Ron and I, we're not big eaters.
Yeah.
Neither one of us.
Yeah.
You know. So it I don't know. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, you did. You did. No, you did. Yeah, somebody was asking what you eat in a day, but you went through that. And your restaurant, you've had your restaurant for a long time too. They were asking about that.
Since 2008, we opened our doors.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. And
that's a while.
In a community where it was pretty much a food desert in Inglewood at the time that we opened our doors. And I'm so grateful that we went to Inglewood and had the opportunity to find that building and do exactly what it is we do. And so, like for me, I of course, I got to have my I love quinoa bowls. I love quinoa. That's
so many nutrients in quinoa, yeah.
Yeah, so many nutrients. But salads. But when it comes to just a bunch of heated, hot, big, giant plates of food, I can't do it anymore.
Because you'd feel such a big difference, right?
It's a huge difference.
And your quality would suffer.
A huge difference.
Yeah.
And I have I do a lot. Girl, I get up at, I wake up between 1:30 and 2 every single day.
No way, wow.
1:30 and 2 every single day. But the other day I fell asleep so damn early. I woke up at 10 at night to go to the bathroom, and I was like, is it 1 or 2? And I was like, you have been asleep forever. So I get plenty rest. I have a full day at 73 years old. Think about that.
Yeah. See, that's what I admire. That's what I love
living.
so much. It's goals.
It's quality.
And do you think that's how we should be?
We should be. We're humans.
Yeah. We're not meant to deteriorate, fall apart.
Look at what we build. Look at what we do. And then we get sick because of poor nourishment.
And what else besides the nourishment of the food is important to you for a highest quality of life?
Yeah. My attitude.
Yeah.
My attitude.
And who inspires you right now? Is there anybody that inspires you at this point in your life? Like any books or people? Maybe you don't like books. I don't know.
What? She said that books, huh? They want me to read. No, I'm teasing. You know, I guess I look at my 3-year-old great-granddaughter right now and her beginning of a human experience, the journey. And I'm so excited and happy for her. But at the same time, I want to be that example. I want to be that person in her journey that she looks at and says, my great grandma, man, I want to do it just like her. You know what I'm saying? So she's inspiring me to stay on point, even though I feel so darn good. I did an interview with Dr. Bobby Price, and I said something about not even having a primary care physician, and people went nuts.
Really?
You need to have a primary care physician, and so at the end of the year they sign you up, especially when you're my age, for all these different programs. So I do have a primary care physician. I just haven't been to see him yet. I don't know him yet.
But you have no reason right now, right? You feel good, right? Do you feel like you have any health issues?
I have nothing.
Yeah. Wow.
I don't know, Gillian.
See, it's crazy because that's not the norm, and I wish that was the norm. And it's people like you that are going to inspire that to be the norm one day. Because I know a lot of people in their 70s, and it is nothing like this.
Look,
and there's been about dozens and dozens of health problems.
Bust my knee. Most people would run straight to the doctor.
Yeah.
I did a 12-day water fast, and then I did a detox.
No
right
way,
afterwards.
because I don't know if
Getting
you told
rid of
them.
inflammation.
Because you were working out, right?
I was showing out.
Yeah.
You want me to tell that story?
Yeah, and I'll let them know. Okay, we're gonna do a video in the gym next, so make sure you guys subscribe. We're gonna go in the gym, find out Chef Babette's fitness routine, tips, nutrition tips, what she eats before and after. But yeah,
but we don't want you to show off though. We don't want you. You don't want you to feed egos.
Yeah,
so, and that's what I was doing and busted my knee. You just stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane. Yeah, so you went on the treadmill after not being on the treadmill for a while on a high speed.
I tell this story. I tell this story all the time because this is a very important story. I was in the gym December 5th, 2 days before my 73rd birthday, and I was feeding my ego. It was so hungry. Oh my God, my ego was so hungry. I was showing off. I mean, not like, hey, I'm about to be 73 years old. I'm gonna do this 45-minute spin, and then something told me, my ego said, go get on the treadmill and show them how an old lady does the treadmill. I got on that treadmill, turned it up to 7. Had not been on the treadmill for at least 2 years. I turned it up to 7. I did a sprint. I was getting it. You know the chick next to me? She was doing a walk. She didn't pay any attention to me. She just kept walking. She stayed in her lane.
That's what we.
I go into the training room. I see my trainer. I go in there, and he's so disgusted with me because he's just like, "Am I training you today, or what's up?" I'm showing off. I bend down when I get to work, and my right knee cracks 3 times. Crack, crack, crack. And that taught me the biggest lesson in life. Sometimes you have to let go of your ego, and you definitely have to stay in your lane. I was not good. So from December the 5th until today, Gillian and I are going to hang out in the gym.
Yeah.
And this will be my first gym thing since I busted my knee.
And I was thinking for a long time like that, I would think you'd lose the muscle, and you look so fit, like so fit. You guys should see her in person walking around, like perfect butt, legs, flat
but you know
stomach.
What? I've been doing it for years though. Okay. So if I lost all this in 6 months, I'd be kind of questioning my lifestyle. What's up? You can lose it in 6 months?
Yeah, I guess if you didn't have a clean lifestyle too, it might be different.
True, it might be different.
Right? If you
but I still maintained my lifestyle pretty much, other than working out. I allowed my knee to heal. And like I did not go to a physician. I didn't want them trying to give me medication. And
so you did a water fast. How was the water fast?
Water fast.
Was that your first water fast?
I have never done a water fast before. I always do the master cleanse.
That's right. Yeah.
But I did 12 days of just water. But let me tell you, I am not running 100 like anybody on this planet. I do have one challenge in life, and that is I am highly, and I will claim it because it's true, addicted to sugar. My mother put sugar in everything. And so I just had that palate. Now, if I make sweet potato pie at work, it's generally going to be way too sweet for my husband. He has the opposite palate. He can't stand it if it's too sweet. And I don't care if you're eating agave or what you're eating. For me, sugar is sugar. And we all have to be very, very careful with ingesting too much sugar, especially the refined sugar and the high fructose corn syrup and all that kind of stuff. Or even
what about too much fruit, do you think, or no?
No, fruit is good.
Like different, right?
Come on, baby. Leave me alone with my fruit. I'm going to eat my fruit. Don't mess with me with the fruit now.
Well, what about if people eat all fruit, like some fruitarians? Have you done that? Would you do that?
You know what? I am not the person to say anything about a person that decides that's how they want to nourish themselves, because they're not killing anything. And if they're healthy and they're strong and they're okay with eating that fruit, eat that fruit.
Yeah.
Period. So it's just the refined sugars. It's all of that. And like I said, it's still the agave too. Because I on that water fast, I really wanted sweet.
You were craving the sweet.
I was craving the sweet.
Yeah. So how was that experience? Did you notice benefits?
I just wanted to take the agave bottle
Yeah.
squirted on my tongue.
But you didn't. You kept
No,
the
I
discipline.
didn't. I was disciplined, but I had planned to go 15 days on the water cleanse.
You did 12, right?
I did 12.
That's
and
good.
then I decided to just go into the detox,
Yeah.
which allowed me to have a salad at the end of the day.
And do you think it kind of gives us confidence having that discipline to stick to stuff?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. People are asking if you fast. So
Oh,
that's
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I do that cleanse. I abstain from eating 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah. Okay. And people are asking too, how do you have such smooth skin? You need to tell me too. Your skin is unbelievable.
I don't, and I used to be a wreck. I had eczema. And every month I would break out in a rash in my face. My eyes would swell. My lips would swell. Every single month, to the point that I was addicted to rash medicines, which are really dangerous.
Really?
Oh, you can't put those cortisone creams and stuff on you for over and over and over. Then it starts really messing with you. And I saw a video of a girl that, because of eczema and using those creams, she broke out so horribly, like a monster. And it came from the use of the rash medicine.
Crazy.
You gotta calm down and give it what it needs and not crap.
Yeah. Our nervous system feels more stressed out on the crap, right? Yeah.
So,
Okay, cool. And somebody said, how often do you get things like a flu or cold? Do you get that or no?
no, wow. How cool is that though?
Yeah.
You know, like a couple of weeks ago, I was sneezing in the morning. Now, I don't know if I got some soap up in my nose and it triggered. I just started sneezing. But COVID, Ron and I just, no.
Good. And somebody was saying, okay, about your sleep. Do you sleep less or more on a healthy diet? Obviously less, right? Yeah.
Child.
It's not even a question, really.
I get my full hours of sleep. If I go to sleep, say for instance, if I fall asleep at 7, I'm waking up at 1:32.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm rested.
Yeah. And somebody said, how does it feel for you to see women your age who believe that getting older means sick, weakness, arthritis, pain, and being sedentary?
Sedentary?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not that, that's for sure. I got to move. But, that's why knowledge is power. I was blessed to have met Rondo at age 40 and been educated, because God knows where I'd be now had I not. I might be some of those same ladies expecting to feel the same exact way. But because I took another route and educated myself to a degree, I didn't experience that, and I'm not experiencing that. I don't have an expectation for 75. I feel good today, like I did when I was 40. So what is my expectation really supposed to be?
True.
Just what I've experienced. And at 73, I'm good.
You're really good. And you had a background, you did drugs in your past and stuff, right?
Yes.
So what if somebody's watching and they're addicted to drugs or alcohol? Any advice or any inspiration to let them know? Like,
addiction to sugar, addictions to anything that you cannot any longer control, that's really taken a toll on you. You got to find a way out of it. I was introduced to crack cocaine quite a few years ago, and that's a very debilitating kind of drug to be on, because it shoots you a high, and then you want it over and over and over and over again, and you're only going to get it once. And it makes you really, really, it just makes you almost a spectacle. And I don't mean that to be cruel. I was in it. I crawled around on the floor looking for cocaine rocks. I picked white paint off the wall because it looked like crack to me at the time, and held it between my fingers.
Wow.
Till I could get to a pipe to see. I've smoked a lot of cornbread for sure. A lot of paint. No. But the bottom line is, how did I get, I know what it was. I was at my mom's, the home that I grew up in a bedroom that I grew up in. It was empty. The furniture was out. There was still a piggy bank in that room. And I had been sitting in that room smoking crack for some hours. And when I was all done, I started looking in the piggy bank, and it was this clear voice that was like, so that's what you do now.
Wow.
You go through piggy banks. And that was devastating to me. And I have never, ever done it again.
I hear a lot of people, because I just interviewed somebody else who had a moment like that. Thank God you had that moment.
Thank God I had the moment.
Or we wouldn't be blessed to have you here right now.
No, you wouldn't.
And you help so many people.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. That's the way that voice came to me. So that's what you do now. That's who you are.
And see, so people can get through that. Because look at you. People, no matter what your age is, even if you're 60 and you're watching this and you're addicted.
What? At the moment, I didn't know I desired to get through it. When I got the voice, I don't know. It took me someplace. It was like, yeah, who are you?
Do you feel like now, do you meditate, and do you feel like you connect?
Yeah, now
do you feel like you connect
good
to God?
I better meditate. The only reason I have my restaurant is because I meditated. I mean, that's just a part of life now. Spiritually, I'm connected. I realize my oneness. You understand? I realize my oneness. I understand my power. I understand that I am a mere expression of that intelligence that created all of this. I am just an expression of that. And so I'm not gonna louse that up.
Wow. Well said.
Yeah.
Okay. After that, a bit of a different question. Somebody was asking how you keep your neck so smooth.
No, I mean,
but it is.
It's called coconut oil.
Oh, okay.
No, it's called slab that grease on that neck. You got enough. No. My neck. Don't look.
No, but it looks good, right? A lot of women, we want to have a nice neck as we age. And
I put oil on my neck, and if
you have a neck that's at least 20 years younger.
No.
At least.
If my neck gets dry. If it gets dry,
keep it moist, yeah.
You got to keep that neck moist.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who you think we live on a planet.
Yeah.
There's gravity, and certain things are going to happen to all of us. And this is not about me trying. Aesthetics is so important for people on the planet. We don't care how we feel on the inside, but aesthetically, as long as we look a certain way, and we're hung up on that.
True.
Unfortunately, I'm going to have a wrinkle one day.
But we're waiting still for that.
No, I mean, I noticed that when I laugh, I have laugh lines. And
I think those are beautiful. Like, I have those too. I like those.
But you better like them. Shit, what you gonna do?
Right? That's the thing.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm not getting a bunch of surgery.
Exactly.
It's just too high risk to me. I see some people out there, and I think it's real for our faces to move. People look weird, and it's unrealistic.
And just be okay where you are in the journey.
Yeah.
That's the point. That really and truly is the point. Instead of tripping, how do you feel? Are you on top of the world? Are you tripping because you got a crease in your neck?
Yeah, I know. True.
It's
how we feel and the energy.
Thank you.
And that's what radiates
and
out
the
of you.
love.
Yeah, the love.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel a lot more loving on this lifestyle too, I feel like.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, I'll just bring this up quickly, but we did our other interview and there were some crazy comments on some of the clips, right? That weren't so loving.
There was some very mean.
And that just shows like we still have a ways to go
comments.
with our consciousness, right?
Well, what it is a lot of times I think, I guess what bothered me more than anything and bothers me, if you're not practicing a plant-based lifestyle, you're just not there yet. But you have no reason to be angry with me because that's what I choose to do. I don't believe in slaughtering any other creature or species to feed myself when I can feed myself with some nuts and seeds. It's way, way too much for me. Now, if you're doing you and you think you got it and you're doing the right thing, there's no reason for you to be cruel to me because I'm not being cruel to you. I realize that as a human, I don't have to murder or slaughter anything to nourish myself. That's my choice. I will go in that direction first. Period. And what people do is they act like vegans are pushing people around and trying to tell people what to do. It's too many people eat meat. Y'all realize how many cows and chickens and pigs and fish are being fed soy and dying because all of us, too many of us, decide I can't do anything but that. We don't give anything else a chance. That's not me. That's not me.
And it's out of control now. It's like you said, it's too much. It's like morning, noon, and night. Let me have bacon, then salmon, then chicken. It's just like,
it's not.
You don't want to be vegan, okay, but don't eat it that much. Have it once or twice a week then.
First of all,
it's out of control,
how many of us are eating it like that?
A lot. That's how I used to do it.
Wait, first of all, you are tearing up forests to plant soy to feed cows, chicken, fish, pigs, soy. Cows graze. You're tearing up forests. Do you understand how important the rainforests are? And you're cutting them down so that you can raise more animals to feed people a diet that they don't have to eat. I'm saying you don't have to eat it. You don't have to eat it to thrive. You don't have to eat it to live. So maybe you like it. So did I. I ate pig intestines, chitlins, but you couldn't force me. You couldn't pay me to put another pig's intestines in my mouth. That's just not where I'm going. I'm going crazy, huh?
No, I love it. No.
That was passion.
No, I love the passion with you.
All right, let me come.
Somebody was asking, how do you eat to make sure you're not deficient in any key nutrients? I think this is a reason why people don't go vegan. They're scared of this, right?
Okay, you better get you some juice, man.
Yeah.
Get you some juice. Make sure you start your day off with a whole bunch of green. Get as much chlorophyll in your body as you can possibly get in your body. As much chlorophyll as possible. I bet you come out better than you do eating a piece of dead cow ass. I bet you that.
It's true. I love it. Okay. And somebody was asking, what about your eyesight? I was going to ask you that too. Do you wear glasses?
You know what?
Is your eyesight okay or no?
No, I've had eye surgery. I had something, and I don't even remember what it is now. It wasn't glaucoma or anything like that. It was something, and a few years back, I did have eye surgery, and I don't have to wear. I wear reading glasses, but other than that,
but your eyesight's
I'm
good. Yeah. And somebody, they want to see us in the gym, which we're going to do next. They were asking for a home tour, kitchen tour, garden tour, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go to the gym because you just moved. You just moved into a new place. And I love how it's super stylish. You're in your 70s.
Isn't it beautiful?
I interviewed Mimi Kirk yesterday, 85, long-term vegan, super stylish place. Like these people are so active, beautiful, stylish, not your typical, like what you picture in 70s or 80s, right?
I don't want to be
like you picture, like not to offend or anybody, but you picture like the granny apartment with like, at 85. Well, I went to Mimi Kirk's and she's 85 and her place is just like,
oh my God,
way nicer than mine. So stylish. I'm just like, so it's total goals, right?
Why not?
Yeah.
You're still living.
And you're going to start a cooking show too, right?
Yes.
At 73.
I am so excited about it. Chef Chris and I are going to do this cooking show. I'm so excited about this cooking show. And I think it's going to be hot or not. So basically, I'll be doing the raw version and then he'll do the cooked version.
Oh, I love it. That's going to be huge. This is going to be on
Hot or
YouTube.
Not.
So YouTube, you're going to have this, right? It's going to be called Hot or Not.
Hot or Not.
I love it. So if that's out already by the time this launches, I'll put it below, or whenever it comes out, I'll come add it to the video.
Yes.
So check the description. Go check that out. That's going to be huge.
Hot or Not.
That's going to be huge.
Isn't that cool though?
I love
to show
that.
them the raw version and the cooked version.
Yeah. And what are maybe some of your favorite meals, whether they're raw or cooked?
Well, you know what? I'm really huge on. I love dishes made with avocados. That's just the fruit that I'm extremely crazy about. I'm really. My zucchinis and stuff. What can you not do with zucchini?
Right. The pastas are like, yeah.
What about
Yeah.
And nuts? I do a lot of nuts and a lot of seeds. Like I'll make you some chili to die for. He'll make the cooked version using maybe kidney beans, but I'm using walnuts.
I'm going to have to come back for an episode and try these foods.
I'm using walnuts.
Walnuts, yeah.
Oh yes, for some chili.
Yeah.
Oh please.
See, it's not boring, right?
Yeah.
No, these foods.
It's the best.
Yeah.
And then, hey, what about that cauliflower? Make you some cauliflower rice.
So good.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, it's gonna
well,
be
I'm
fun.
excited for that show. That's
You gotta
gonna
be
really
excited.
good.
That's gonna be a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody's asking, even vegan food can be fattening if done wrong. What hacks do you have to keep the weight off on a vegan diet?
Vegan food is fine, but if you eating out of boxes and cans and bags and what's so fattening? What's so fattening? Give me what's really so fattening? Tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me which one is that? Unless you got a box or something, you don't know what it is. Come on, whole foods are not fattening.
I feel like even if you're not eating raw, if you're eating whole foods, plant-based, you're typically probably going to reach an ideal weight, right? If you're just eating the whole food plant-based diet.
Thank you.
Right?
But I do ingest a little bit more live food. But look, I can make a handful of nuts a meal. That's where I am right now. I just think that if you're greasing even whole foods up, if you get putting too much grease on stuff, maybe you want to make a stir fry. You don't have to load it up with oil to do a stir fry. You can do a little moisture.
Yeah.
And stir fry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think sometimes if we're preparing vegan dishes like we did when we were cooking meat, and we get them too sugary, or too greasy, and then it's what you add to them that can become fattening. Or if you're eating a lot of processed foods. But if you're eating clean, whole food, I don't see how you get overweight.
Me too. And somebody said, what about protein? So we can talk about that in the gym one too. But
people are always talking about protein, but I take that sea moss every day, and that's
you make it into gel, or do you buy the gel?
My girl sends it to me a certain way.
In gel? And then you put it in smoothies and stuff?
I put it in everything. That's why I like it. If I make a salad dressing, I'll just plop me some sea moss in
like a tablespoon or something, right? Like a little bit?
And blend it up.
Yeah.
Smoothies, juices, sauces. I just make sure I get it in there, and it just kind of makes everything a little bit more nutritious.
So nutritious. And somebody said, what are your health and personal grooming secrets?
I have a spray gun, and I just spray the paint in my face.
Like what? I thought you meant that makeup.
You were like,
I thought you were talking about some secret gun. I'm like, what? Or I thought you meant that, that makeup that airbrush people do. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, whatever works.
No, I don't. No, I just kind of wash my face. And guess what? Now I have a brand new product to play with.
Oh, yeah, my new skincare.
Gillian just hooked me up with a facial wash.
Yeah, chamomile face wash.
I'm so excited to use that.
Yeah.
And look, I just put this on a few hours ago. I may just go take your product and wash it right off to see how well it works.
It's nice. And it's natural, vegan, plant-based. Yeah.
And see, that's what it is. I don't go to stores and buy a lot of products and all that kind of stuff. Now, the one thing that I did experience on this journey, I used to go to Jamaica a lot. I was a flight attendant. And every time my husband and I wanted some time, we'd go to Jamaica. And I never used sunscreen. I'm a melanated woman. Black folks sometimes think they don't need sunscreen. Yes, you do. Yes, you do need it. I wound up with melasma.
Wow.
And I did start using a product that is, I just got so, I got to get this stuff off my face. I used a product that actually helped even out the skin tone. And, but be careful in the sun. Take care of your face. Take care of your skin. I don't care if you're melanated or not. You need some type of a sunscreen. Don't be ignorant. Don't do that.
Okay. And somebody's asking, what do you do to wash your produce? Do you have any tips for washing produce? Do you buy all organic or no?
It doesn't matter whether you buy organic or not nowadays.
Yeah, you think?
You know, we use a little baking soda.
Yeah.
But please be careful with the organic because the crops are right next to the regular crops and the runoffs and cow poop, and we can get just as sick with organic food as we can get with regular food if we're not careful. So make sure you either have some type of a wash or you create your own to clean that food. I'm feeding a lot of people. I would hate for somebody to get sick from the food that I'm preparing. Yeah.
Okay. And somebody said, how long did it take for you to get really used to sticking to being vegan?
It didn't take very long at all, like a hot second. You know, I felt the first meal that Ron made for me, it was a meal that digested well. I couldn't believe it. Then he gave me the books. I started reading the books. And from that point on, I never looked back. I kind of transitioned overnight.
Okay.
Yeah. And I stuck with it because I felt so much better eating that way than the way I was eating prior.
Yeah, it made you feel better.
Yeah.
And what about menopause? If we could touch on this for a minute, people always ask me about this. So they were asking if you suffered for anything. What about hormones, all that?
I went through menopause very, very quickly. I can name specifically the times that I would get a hot flash. I was a flight attendant at the time. I would get a hot flash every takeoff and every landing. I could feel my temperature changing. If I drank any beverage that had alcohol in it, I would get a hot flash. If I drank eat anything with refined sugar or any kind of sugar, even agave, no matter what it was, a sweetener, I would get a hot flash.
Interesting.
Yeah, but other than that, it came and it went so quickly, and I know it's my lifestyle. But those were and you know what I used to chalk that up to? The intelligence of the human. Alcohol is not good for me. My body would automatically heat up. Sugar, not good for me. My body is automatically heating up. Now, I can't answer the takeoff and the landings in that change of altitude, but those were the times that I would feel a change in my body temperature. Other than that, I've had friends that have felt like killing themselves. They had so many hot flashes. I didn't go through that. I
think how we eat affects us through that time.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I've noticed. I've heard a lot of people talking about that lately.
It was so easy for me. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I have learned to use Google well enough to ask, how long does a McDonald's French fry last? I have seen images of McDonald's fries that have been lasting for years still looking exactly the same. And we feed those chemicals to our babies. And for me, I just think that young people need to understand, because you're good right at the moment, if you're not careful with the way you handle yourself, you won't be good. Don't eat so much processed food. Learn to read the ingredient labels on the back of packaged foods, cans, bags, whatever. Read ingredients. And if there is 2 paragraphs of words that you cannot pronounce, maybe you should think twice about ingesting that. And that's for the youth on the planet today.
I love that. You should be speaking in schools. You should be speaking in huge stadiums.
Man, I'm telling you, we get up and our kids eat those spicy, are they
Takis?
No, the other ones. Yes.
Yeah,
But
the chips and
they're
stuff.
hideous. The spicy Cheetos and stuff for breakfast.
Oh.
They're hideous. What are you doing? And parents that feed babies cereal in boxes with dye, cancer-causing dyes. What are you doing?
And then we wonder why everyone's getting sick. Why are our kids-
Everybody's sick, and not only physically, emotionally nuts.
True.
We have some really whacked out situations going on the planet today. And my thought is it the processed foods?
Me too.
Are we eating too much of this and it's getting us all goofed out in our brains?
Facts. I think so.
I think so too. But anyway. Yeah, the red dye. And do you know how many autistic people there are today?
There's
and back
a lot.
in the 50s?
Even in the 80s when I grew up, it wasn't like this.
like this.
And the allergies. Like I used to be able to pack a peanut butter
Exactly.
sandwich. Not like I would eat that now or pack that for my kids, but like you can't pack.
Exactly.
It's all just, we all got to wake up a bit.
We do.
Well, you're helping us. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
You're such an
sweetheart.
icon.
Thank you.
I want to be just like you when
This
I'm in
was
my
fun.
70s. Yeah, you're so amazing. And I admire you so much. And so we're going to continue in the gym. You guys subscribe. Stay tuned for that. That'll be the next video. And if Chef Babette's new channel is out, go follow that and follow her on social media. She is so inspiring. Whenever I show people her pictures, they're like, she is not 73. No way. So go follow. I'll link it all below. And I love you guys. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.